Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to minute by minute or live coverage of the Rome match here between Stan Wawrinka and Grigor Dimitrov. We're in the first point, and Stan's put a forehand long, so it's love 15. But yeah, this round of 64 match. Don't forget everyone to subscribe and like and comment as well if you're coming along to listen, or if you're watching sort of wherever you are. A couple of loose forehands there actually from Wawrinka. So early on in the first game, Dimitrov has a sniff on the Wawrinka serve. Very early stages though, obviously. First game. Big serve from Stan, 15-30. Down the tee. Dimitrov couldn't quite get his racket on it enough to put the backhand in, so it's 15-30. Yeah, kind of bit of a throwback, I guess, this match really. It almost sort of seems like maybe it's a sort of 2013, 2014, 2015, maybe that kind of time. And they've actually met 12 times, looking at the head-to-head, with Wawrinka leading it 7-5. So it's their 13th meeting today. As Dimitrov puts a backhand into the net, so it's 30 all. But they haven't met for 3 years. Haven't met since 2020. So head to head is probably not super relevant, I would say, to this one. Wawrinka's won 4 of the last 5, but Dimitrov did win the last one. But again, that's between sort of 2017 and 2020. They've not met for 3 years. Grigor Dimitrov had a second serve there to look at, and we're just in a sort of baseline rally at the moment. Big forehand from Dimitrov cross court, which Wawrinka can't control the backhand. So first game and first break point for Grigor Dimitrov on the Stan Wawrinka serve. Yeah, just looking at the ages of these two as well. So just off the top of my head, I would have thought that their ages were sort of slightly closer than they are. There's 7 years difference between the two, which I find quite surprising, as Wawrinka goes long with the forehand. First game, first break for Grigor Dimitrov. So a good start for the Bulgarian. 3 minutes on the clock. Yeah, I think so. Stan Wawrinka's 38 and Dimitrov is 31. Yeah, and that seems, I guess, because it almost feels like kind of both players really are almost, kind of, or so, certainly perhaps maybe past their best, or I don't know, but I guess that's maybe a bit of a kind of consequence of, I guess, Grigor Dimitrov was a sort of real young up and coming player, wasn't he, in his sort of late teens, early 20s, and Stan Wawrinka was probably a bit of a late bloomer. So I guess that's probably kind of potentially playing into, just maybe the fact that I thought there was a bit that the gap in ages was a bit less than it is. But yeah, into the second game, and we've got Nerezuri coming in. Hi from Bulgaria. Hi Nerezuri. I'm from Bulgaria, and Dimitrov is winning. Yeah, good start for you. Also, it's been a good week for you, right? As well, Nerezuri into Milan on one step in the Champions League final as well. But yeah, good result for you guys, and I guess you'll be hoping for the same from your guy Grigor today. How are you feeling, Nerezuri, about this game going in? Was you feeling confident about his chances, or yeah? It's been a bit of a patchy year really for both, isn't it? But big serve +1 there from Grigor, so it's 40 love. Really good start from Dimitrov as Jamie Delgado looks on. So he's got 100%. 100% votes for Dimitrov. I wonder if that's just the one vote. Is that just John in the background, maybe? But yeah, talking tennis community are going for Grigor. Serve and volley there from the Bulgarian. So it's 2-love. Really solid start from him. Wawrinka hasn't really got into it yet. Loose game from him in the first game, and then a strong, commanding game there from Grigor Dimitrov. So into the third game, Stan trying to get on the board. Big serve +1 there, forehand winner from Stan. Who am I predicting to win? Yeah, it's a really it's a tough one to call, really, I think, isn't it? Because not really that much kind of to go on from these two this year. Not that much form really going in. I think they've both had quite a patchy clay court season as well, with maybe 1 win, 1 defeat in the 2 Masters Series tournaments preceding this. So I think it's probably, I'm going to say it's going to go to 3 sets. It's going to go all the way. I'm going to say, despite this start from Grigor, I'm going to say that I'm going to just go for Wawrinka to come through. Maybe slight surprise there. I don't know. Thinking about the rankings and stuff, but maybe just his slightly superior clay court pedigree might tip the balance in his favour. I'm going to go for Stan anyway, as we just see a flying backhand winner there from Stan. Amazing shot. So he holds to love. That was classic vintage Stan Wawrinka there. Just looking over his record as well in Rome, Wawrinka. That was called wide, I think. So it's 40-15. So he's still not on the board. That must have been close. But yeah, he's got neither player have got a fantastic record here. Forehand long from Wawrinka. Stan has been in one final, but that was back in 2008, long time ago. Which I guess this tournament had been completely dominated, isn't it, by Novak, by Rafa. Just looking at Stan's run to that final actually in 2008 when he lost. It's a real kind of who's who of Grand Slam champions, actually, the run that he had. So 2008, Stan Wawrinka's run to the final. As he gets on board there, it's 2-1 for Dimitrov with a break. So he beat Marat Safin, who was a wild card, in the round of 64. He beat Andy Murray in the round of 32. He beat Juan Carlos Ferrero in the round of 16. He beat James Blake in the quarterfinals. He beat Andy Roddick in the semi-finals. And then he lost against Novak in the final. So 4 out of those 5 players that he beat en route to that final were Grand Slam champions, which is hi Ghosty. I know his old man Murray is Muzza. Can Wawrinka be Wazza? Why not? Sounds like Wazza, which is a reference to Wayne Rooney. Why can't he be Wazza? Ghosty saying it looks like the clay season will be dominated as well by Alcaraz. Yeah, I mean it does, doesn't it? Although I guess he did have he wasn't at his best, was he, in Madrid last week? But I guess that's almost more worrying, right, for the rest of the field, that he was able to sort of win a Masters 1000 despite not being at his best. I mean, that's something that kind of only really the true greats can really do, right? And he's not played Rome before, has he? I don't think this is Alcaraz's first time in Rome. So, yeah, I'm sure it'd be interesting to see how he does perform. I'm sure he'll perform well. Marat Safin, who's a wild card, is a sentence that works in many contexts. Yeah, if a character, isn't he? Wasn't he, Marat? or isn't he? He's still he's still alive as far as I'm aware. Yeah, I believe so, John. I've got some asked Juan Carlos before, and yeah, I can confirm it's his first time in Rome. He may have been there on holiday, but first time playing the tournament. Um, yeah, which is surprising, but I guess it's just an indicator, right, of how a relatively short time he's had on the tour still. Big serve from Dimitrov. Still only really had the one full year, right, which was last year. I guess 2 years ago, the US Open was where he kind of really announced himself, I guess, to the sort of maybe more casual tennis fan, right, by kind of reaching the latter stages of the US Open in 2021. Probably the first time that John Silk had heard of him actually in the US Open 2021. No, I'm sure it wasn't. So yeah, it's opening exchanges. What's Ghosty saying? Do tennis pros holiday in normal locations like the rest of us? I just assume they're all hiding out on private islands or something. Right, yeah, or Monte Carlo. Yeah, yeah. They it's always interesting, isn't it? The tennis off season, which is it's about 2 weeks, isn't it? It's not very long at all. And we see their Instagram updates, all of these kind of exotic locations. Of course, Casper Ruud just gets Rafa to book all his holidays for him, doesn't he? And Rafa tells him where they're going. So yeah, 30-15 Dimitrov here. Lovely forehand winner from Grigor. Bring up 40-15. So a really good start from the Bulgarian. Yuri from Bulgaria earlier commented just to say that she was here watching her man Grigor, his man Grigor. Sorry, don't know why. Yeah, 150 kilometers an hour. That forehand winner from Dimitrov, and he holds with a big serve, and it's 3-1. So yeah, very nice start here from Grigor Dimitrov. Got a few people kind of joining now, so please do like and subscribe as well, everybody. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. We're not too far away, I believe. So it'd be nice if we can get to that point at some point soon. So just 13 minutes on the clock. It's been a fast start from Dimitrov. Big forehand there from Stan cross court, which Dimitrov can't retrieve. Grigor's outfit, yeah, it's a nice one. It's just the camera's just on Stan at the moment, so we can see sort of Stan seems to like his kind of quite dull colours, I guess, isn't he? Or Grigor's one's nice, very stylish. Just a bit of a almost lost his footing there, Stan. Or certainly misjudged the flight of the ball from Dimitrov's return, and then he goes long. I feel like there's nowhere in Europe and major cities in the world, New York, Melbourne, Tokyo, etc., where Carlos Alcaraz wouldn't be recognised and hounded by young folk. Absolutely. As Dimitrov hits a backhand winner through Stan there. Stan was approaching the net. Maybe a bit slow up to the net, but it was a decent backhand there from Dimitrov. I feel like Stan was a bit sort of laboured up to the net a little bit there. And that's gone long. So the Hungarians are doing well in Rome so far. Fuchsovic and Dimitrov. Now Dimitrov is Bulgarian, goes to, yeah, he is absolutely. Oh, that's nice from Wawrinka, 40-30. Yeah, just trying to think of sort of Hungary. Are there any other Hungarian players out there? So we've got Fuchsovic had a good win. Just trying to think of other Hungarians, off the head, famous Hungarians. Ferenc Puskás, famous footballer. Is there a fairly famous Hungarian player on the women's side? Trying to think. But yeah, we haven't got too many, by the way, of Bulgarians either. Dimitrov takes use. Something saying to me, Tamia Babos. Yes, she's a Hungarian. I've just typed her name in. Still playing as well. Still playing Tamia Babos. Quarters a breakdown. Okay. There's a lot going on today as well. A lot of tennis, as I like to say. A lot of tennis going on at the moment. Sebi Korda a breakdown against Safulin qualifier. Also Shevchenko up a break on Sebastian Baez. Shevchenko, I think, also looks like the lucky loser coming into this. So I don't know if he's going to be able to repeat Struff's heroics from last week. Wawrinka being tested again here on his service games. Big hitting from Dimitrov. But yeah, of course. So Struff is not in the draw this week in Rome, I believe. So I'm not sure whether he kind of has just decided to sort of have the week off after his exploits in Madrid last week, or maybe was it the fact that he kind of wasn't high enough to qualify based on his ranking before Madrid. So he probably would have had to enter qualifying potentially in Rome. And I guess that wouldn't have been much of a turnaround at all for Struff. Nice display of sliding across the clay court there from Dimitrov. And he goes long of a backhand slice. So Wawrinka holds his serve at 3-2. Just going to take you guys around a bit what's sort of going on in the rest of today's matches in Rome. So Korda's a break, as we've just said, really. Korda's a breakdown. Shevchenko's beating Baez. On the women's side, but also is 5-1 up on Ons Jabeur, which is interesting. And I believe also as well, there was another trip to the Iga Swiatek bakery. Yes, there was a double bagel against Pavlyuchenkova. Gosh, Pavlyuchenkova really has sort of fallen off a cliff, hasn't she, over the last couple of years. But Bados has taken the opening set against Jabeur, actually 6-1. Mukova is 4-1 up on Trevisan in the deciding set. Donovekic is a break up against Sasnovic in the final set. Marta Kostyuk is a setup against Claire Liu from the United States. Ghost is saying, I don't think Korda is surviving that match. Safulin has been playing pretty good. Korda hasn't really tested that wrist. I'm guessing they're just trying to get Korda some reps in. Yeah. Such a shame what's happened to Korda, isn't it, since the Australian Open. Really felt like he was going to take this year by storm. So yeah, just praying that he can kind of I think the clay court season, the French has potentially come maybe too soon for him to really make an impact, but he'll really be looking at that grass court season, I think, as well, and just hoping he can kind of get his wrist back fully firing. Thoughts on Rafa? Yeah, I mean, it was quite concerning seeing that video that's been circulating as well, right? Um, but and also as well, 12 Travel 21 is also asking and saying, do you think Rafa will play Roland Garros? If so, will he retire at the tournament? Um, I don't think if he plays and he's able to play and sort of give a decent account of himself, I don't think he'll necessarily retire at the tournament. I don't really get that impression that he's kind of on the. I don't know that he's going to retire imminently, I guess, but I just don't know. It's really nice rally here actually, and Dimitrov wins it with a nice little backhand drop shot. It's looking really concerning, isn't it? I mean, I think it's probably looking more likely now that he won't play Roland Garros, which would be really, really disappointing, of course. Yeah, I just don't. I'm not sure if he'll enter Roland Garros. He doesn't believe he has a chance of winning it. I mean, the only way that he would do that is as you say, 12 travel. If it's indeed going to be his final tournament and he wants to say goodbye there. But I don't think we're quite at that stage yet. I mean, even when he pulled out of Rome, there was some positive noise, wasn't there, in terms of the kind of movement of the injury and the fact that things had improved slightly, but not enough for him to play in Rome. I mean, there's still a chance he might play a warm-up event next week before Roland Garros, right? My thinking is he probably won't do that. If he does play, he'll come straight into he'll go straight to Paris. Yeah, it's looking like in all likelihood like he won't play, but yeah, there's still a chance, right? It's obviously he still thinks there's a chance, otherwise he would have ruled himself out entirely. But it's going to be a huge wrench for him, isn't it, if he does have to miss Roland Garros? I mean, he's won 5 matches as well since Wimbledon last year, I believe. So I mean, I know we say every year, don't we, that anything is possible with Rafa at Roland Garros and never rule him out. And if Rafa's there in Paris, then you've got to sort of back him for the title. But I think this would even be, um, a Herculean effort that might even be beyond Rafa if he were to come back and play Roland Garros, having sort of not played at all really for almost a year. Was certainly not played in the lead up to Roland Garros anyway. Another comfortable service game there from Grigor Dimitrov, 4-2. Iga's dominance is simultaneously amazing and incredibly boring. I love Serena, but that was not my favourite era of women's tennis. Seller's Graf, Everett Navratilova. I want rivalries. Absolutely, yeah. And I guess I did enjoy sort of Serena's earlier days, when kind of Enan and Clijsters were kind of on the scene and they were really able to sort of to take it to Serena as well and test her, weren't they? But it was kind of a shame, I guess, that they didn't, for different reasons, kind of last. They weren't competing at the top of the sport for a sustained period. Yeah, Rafa is in an impossible situation. The less he plays, the lower his level and his ranking seeding gets, the harder it will be to win tourneys. Well, yeah, absolutely. It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? When you get down there, you sort of realise how difficult it is to sort of make your way back up. I mean, we've kind of been seeing that with Andy, haven't we? We've been sort of seeing him, over the last 2 or 3 years, kind of slowly make his way up the rankings, but it's really, really difficult. And you potentially have to go and play. I think Rafa's kind of there yet, but potentially have to go and play challengers as well. And we've seen how difficult they are to win as well. Just to get your ranking back up, it's easier to sustain your ranking, isn't it? Once you're there, than it is to sort of get back up there. Maybe a bit similar, I wonder, to the sort of situation in football. It can be easier to sustain your kind of place in the Premier League, maybe in England, rather than kind of promoted from the Championship to the Premier League. By the way, Dimitrov has 3 break points here. It's love 40. Good backhand from Stan to save it. Those points would probably have been for the set for Dimitrov, wouldn't they? Yeah, just struggling to really kind of get into the match here, Wawrinka. Feels like he kind of, well, he needs this for this set, but if he was able to find his way through this game, it might just be the boost he needs. Really good forehand there, cross court, which wrong-footed Dimitrov. So there's 2 break points saved. We just sort of see this point because it's quite a big one here. Oh, a big serve from Stan. That was big. 3 big points there. 3 break points out of 3 saved. Your growth floated the idea of withdrawing from Roland Garros and then playing a grass warm-up to get a jump start on the field, since grass is the weakest surface. Apart from a Serbian fella, there's no one. Yeah, I mean, potentially. I don't know how the grass would potentially suit Rafa's body at this moment, though, as well. Big play from Stan there again as well. It's advantage Wawrinka. It's tricky, isn't it, to sort of know what the best thing to do would be. Yeah, I mean, who are the contenders going to be at Wimbledon? Really, as you say, it's there really is a dearth of kind of really, really good grass court players. As Wawrinka holds, that is big. That's big. Keeps himself in the set, keeps Dimitrov honest, and Dimitrov's going to have to hold serve twice more to win this set now. Ghosty saying grass warm-ups, there aren't many grass tourneys. Where would that be? Yeah, well, I guess there's obviously he could play in Germany, couldn't he? Could play in Mallorca as well. Could play at Queens. There's a few more, isn't there? There's Stuttgart. Yeah, I don't know if he might fancy the grass court tournament in Mallorca, potentially. One in the Netherlands too, right? Isn't that the one I think where Van Rijthoven had his run last year, which kind of got him on people's attention. He had a good run at Wimbledon as well, Van Rijthoven, but he's sort of fallen out of the top 100, I believe, as well. Stuttgart, Rafa played and won there in 2015. Travel saying, when is Kyrgios back? Good question, actually. I'm not too sure whether Kyrgios is going to be back for the grass season. I haven't heard anything. I will. Someone else might know in the comments, but I will just have a check if there's any news on Nick. Seems like he's been out for a long while. Yeah, nothing there as far as I can see. Okay, Dimitrov serving at 4-3. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Kyrgios could well be a threat again on grass, of course. And I mean, there are some younger players, I think, right, that potentially have, some potential on the grass. Potentially like Korda, certainly like Sinner, Alcaraz as well. I mean, he's improved his serve this year, hasn't he? So it'd be interesting to see him at SW19 as well. But yeah, maybe there are some interesting players. Felix as well can, of course, play on grass. Berrettini, if he ever gets back to fitness. So yeah, perhaps Medvedev might need to start trolling everyone on how bad he is on grass as well, to give him a bit more confidence on the surface. But yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to look beyond Novak, isn't it? It really is. Yeah, in all likelihood, I guess in the next couple of months we will see Novak overtake Rafa in terms of Grand Slams and move on to and become the first. Oh, what a shot that is from Stan Wawrinka. Wow. Check that out on the replay, guys. It's a shame it's only brought up 40-15 for him. He was 40 love down. Dimitrov's gone to put a smash away. It's not the worst smash. Wawrinka's read it, and he's just flashed a forehand cross court. Amazing shot. I mean, Dimitrov will think he should have put it away. He gave him half a chance, but still, wonderful execution from the Swiss. Big forehand, Dimitrov holds, absolutely not being tested on his serve at all. Dimitrov, and he's 5-3 up. 12 travel saying that it's just his foot now. Sorry, his foot is fine. It's just his hip, knees, and abdominals that are falling apart. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the surgery on the foot last year was actually really, really successful, wasn't it? But it's almost like, as you say, other areas of his body are failing him now. Yeah. So ironic, wasn't it? That was the foot injury last year that had, apparently plagued him for his whole career. And he had successful surgery on that. And as you say, travel, he's been sort of blighted by lots of other ailments since. So Wawrinka serving to stay in the set. Goes long with a backhand. So it's 15-all. Ghosty. As I've also reached the age where I'm starting to fall apart, I have so much sympathy for Rafa in his senior years. Ain't nobody can beat Father Time. The old bastard bagels everyone in the end. Yeah, it's a nice way of putting it, Ghosty. Does bagel everyone. Look at Roger. I mean, Roger didn't get the send off that he wanted, did he? We had lots of big hitters retiring last year. It does get you eventually, and we'll see it. We will see it happen. I'm sure Ghosty will see it happen to Novak as well, right? He is human. He is going to be bageled by the passing of time at some point, maybe like the next 3 or 4 years. So yeah, Shevchenko's just beaten Baez, has he? That's a big win. Hell of a good win, yeah. Absolutely. As Wawrinka holds, he's going to make Grigor serve it out. Big win for Alexander Shevchenko. Have you seen the interview with Tony Nadal, 12 travel? I think that's kind of quite insightful, actually, with our very own John Silk conducting the interview with Tony Nadal. Check on that. Have a search for that in the history on videos.
If there's one match from Rafa's story where you think that was a missed opportunity, there was a big chance.
There have matches,
2
or 3 in Australian Open. No more. We lose the opportunity in Wimbledon against Djokovic in semi-final.
2018.
Then we lose the opportunity, more important because that was semi-final. We lose the opportunity in Australian Open. In the Australian Open 2014, 2012 and 2017.
Yeah.
In 14 because he has an injury against Wawrinka that before he had never lose against him. Then with Djokovic and Federer, he had breakup in the 5th.
Yeah.
And 40-30 or 30-50. I don't remember well. It was a ball very close, goes up. But this is what happened. There was in Roland Garros 2009. Of course, he I am sure that he won. He won this tournament when he has no problems in his knee, because at this moment he was the best. He won Australian Open, then he won the tournaments on clay, and he arrived with problems in Roland Garros. For this reason, in my opinion, he loses. But there are others time that maybe he has to lose and he won.
And we're back to the match. Thank you, John, for that clip of the Rafa interview. So it's 15-all with Dimitrov serving. So we'll see out this game. Bit of a loose forehand there from Dimitrov into the net at 15 love. Yeah, Ghosty talking about Novak's superior diet, exercise regimen. It will catch up with him, though. It will. Yeah, even if he has got to about 30 slams by then, I don't know. Let's see. So yeah, it's 30-15. Dimitrov is 2 points from the set. Interesting that Uncle Tony refers to these losses as lost opportunities. It's like he's trying to soften the blow for his nephew. Let's see this out. Backhand to backhand right now. Both players, nice looking backhands on display. Cross court forehand to forehand. And Wawrinka goes wide of a slice. So it's 2 break points for Dimitrov. That would be great, wouldn't it, John? I'd love to see Novak go crazy with a bacon sandwich. Maybe after he wins, when he wins his next, I'm going to say when he wins his next Grand Slam, if he just pulls out a bacon sandwich from his bag and just starts eating it. Yeah. Or when he retires, almost to say, going out with a bang. He's kind of restricted himself for so long. He deserves a bacon sandwich, right? Wawrinka goes long. So the first set is over. And Dimitrov takes it 6-4. Just the one break in the match. And it was a break right in the very first game, I believe, which has proved decisive. So it is 6-4. First set done and dusted. I believe we're going to go to a promo in a minute.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered. Whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
You've been to the French Open final. Your breakthrough, at least standout result at the beginning of your career, was on grass against Venus. You've been very solid on the hard courts. Is there a slam in particular that you go, I think that's, if I'm going to get one, the first one might come here, there or where?
Well, I don't know. I mean, everyone, I'm like, I think this is the first one. So I don't know. I mean, obviously now going to the French, I do have a lot of confidence on the surface. But I'm not really thinking about that. I feel like, in the past I was, and it gave me some like defeats that I feel like I shouldn't have lost, maybe more so my head. So going in now, I mean, I feel like, everyone could be the one, but I think I have to just take it a match at a time and just feel it out and enjoy it. I think when you focus too much on the destination, you don't enjoy the journey there. So now I want to focus more on the journey, and if the destination gets there, that's great.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
And we are back in the second set. Just going to have a quick read of that tweet from Damien. I think it would probably be good for Auger-Aliassime to try to grab a wild card for Geneva or Lyon. In 2022, he was doing well even on the slower dirt, but had so much rhythm from the rest of the clay season. 14 matches pre-Roland Garros. Now he's just got the Madrid and Rome round 2 losses. Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't sound like a bad idea at all, Damien. Really, really bad time Felix is having at the moment, isn't it? It's quite concerning, really, I would say, for him. Just going to go back to the comments, guys. Keep the comments coming in. Let's have a look. So Travel was talking about the Barcelona usually clashing with the Serbian and Bosnian tournaments. We saw that a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? Or a few weeks ago now, I think. Time was kind of a bit. Time is a bit warped now with all of these kind of 10-day Masters events. By the way, Grigor Dimitrov has a break point again at the start of this second set. So we'll just pay a bit more attention to this for a second. Is it going to be the same as the first set? Grigor did really well to stay in the rally then, following a big serve from Wawrinka. Backhand to backhand now. Who's going to blink first? Loopy one from Stan. Down the line forehand from Dimitrov, and he breaks. Wawrinka goes wide, as in the first set. Dimitrov breaks right at the start of the second set. And is that going to be where this match is won or lost? Really disappointing for Stan. Thank you for the kind words, Ghosty. Very comprehensive coverage. Well done, John, in Madrid. Really, really good. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Really, really great to see everyone up, all the players up close like that. That kind of content is really a bit of a premium, isn't it? Korda is 2 sets down, Ghosty. It's 5-2 to Safiullin. in the first set. Yeah, okay. So it seems though that Sebi Korda match is back underway though, I think now, John. It's advantage Safulin. But it did seem like it had stopped for a little bit. Might have been a timeout for Sebi Korda. Yeah. Does feel like it might be a bit like that, Ghosty, doesn't it? I had this down as a bit of I thought it'd be a close match, to be honest. I mean, it has been in the sense of it's just been the one break in the first set, right? And I guess when there's a break that early on, it can kind of almost feel like it is maybe it can feel a bit more like one-way traffic than it is. But it certainly has seemed like Dimitrov has been in control due to him having his nose in front in the score. Yeah. Well, it's good news, Ghosty, because to get the match is underway, but it's bad news for Sebi Korda fans because he has just dropped that first set 6-2. But I mean, I think, yeah, it's not wholly surprising, is it, that he's kind of losing today. Is it his first game? Sorry, I have to check this, guys. First game back since injury for Sebi Korda? I'm just going to double check. Sorry, no, he lost in the first round as well in Madrid. Yeah, so it's his second game back. Lost early in Madrid too. Yeah, thank you, John. So yeah, a bit disappointing him to be going down 6-2 in that set. Dimitrov is a set and a breakup. So yeah, the final Masters tournament anyway, isn't it? Before Roland Garros. Feels like these Masters have been going on for some time, this clay court season. Of course, we had Estoril as well, didn't we? Which was right bang at the start. Which Talking Tennis were also across, which seems like a very long time ago now. The side effects of the immense ticket prices in Rome are showing. Given my experience in Cagliari last week, €100 a day at Challenger. Wow, I'm not shocked, but this is a massive shame. Since Italy is usually a great tennis nation, hope they'll fix it for the next season. That's really extortionate, isn't it? €100 a day. Yeah, disappointing. Particularly as you say, I guess the ATP finals have been relative success in Turin, I would say, haven't they? Good play there from Dimitrov. Lovely touch at the net. Rolling back the years, baby fed. Playing really well today, actually. That was delightful. It's 30 years. He's already got a sniff again on Wawrinka's serve. What's going to happen here? Good play from Wawrinka. Really solid on the forehand, 40-30. Looks like Jabeur is kind of mounting a comeback. Oh, no, it's not. Sorry. When I last checked, I think Jabeur was a break-up against Badosa, but she's now 4-3 down in the second set. It's not going well for Ons. That's a nice shot from Stan. And he'll really be ruining those that first game. He's played some decent tennis today, Wawrinka. It's kind of he's hit some really nice shots. Forehand seems to be firing okay, but it's just those two games that he's sort of really taken his eye off the boil in those first games, and that's costing him at the moment. Ghosty, saying we've had food costs going down for a year now in the States, but inflation prices at the grocery remain high, and now Western and Southern Open is abandoning Cincy. Extortion everywhere, mate. Hi, Jane. Nice of you to join us. How are you finding Madrid? How are you finding Rome so far, Jane? Again, it's kind of feeling like it's got that early, like the kind of with this new Masters 1000 format, it's got that kind of quite a slow start, hasn't it? Where, I mean, Carlos Alcaraz is yet to play. We're already 3-4 days in. Yeah, Wawrinka not doing well, Jane, unfortunately. I thought this would be a close one. I don't know about you guys, but I'm quite surprised at the moment at how in control Dimitrov has been. He hasn't had much form going into this this tournament, really. Right, Jane, yeah. All over the lucky losers right now, right? So we had Struff reaching the final of a Masters 1000 as a lucky loser, which was completely unprecedented. Maybe Shevchenko's got his eyes on that as well. Who knows? Big weekend for Ukraine coming up as well, of course. They're looking to retain their Eurovision crown tomorrow. I'm sure John will be across that. And all talking tennis watch along for the Eurovision tomorrow, John. Which is actually taking place in Liverpool because Ukraine were not obviously able to host it, having won it last year. I'll be watching it for sure. So they're moving Cincinnati. Are they? They're moving it to Charlottesville. Gosh, okay. How long has it been in Cincinnati for, Gozy? That's been an absolute staple, hasn't it? Remember watching the Cincinnati Masters, the US Open series, for years and years on Sky Sports. That's not good. Of course, we had the situation a couple of years ago, didn't we, during COVID, where it was actually played in New York as well, which was slightly odd, or very odd. Crikey, it started in 1899. Wow, almost as old as Wimbledon. I don't go back that far. I don't go back that far, John. Yeah, a lot of that tournament's really steeped in tradition, and I wonder what the thinking is behind that. I presume it's a commercial, financial reason. Yeah, it's a nice bit of tennis history here from Ghosty and John. Thank you for this, guys. Really interesting. The tournament was started in 1899 as the Cincinnati Open and was renamed in 1901 to Tri-State Tennis Tournament, a name it would keep until 1969. Wow. Yeah, come on, Ghosty. Get your application in. You know you want to. Maybe as a researcher. As anything you want, really. It's not for me to say. If you want to, Ghosty, I'm sure you do a fine job. Shaky start for Sebi, absolutely, Jane. Yeah. Dropped the first set 6-2. Just going to check what's going on in the early stages of that second set. Breakdown was a breakdown in the first game, but very early stages of that of the second set. So yeah, how long we've been going here for? So we've not even been going an hour yet. Yeah. For just following on from the Felix match, which was an absolute marathon, wasn't it? Over 3 hours. Um, it took for Popper in to defeat Felix 7-5 in the third. Deuce here on the Dimitrov serve. So there's a bit of a sniff for Stan, but Dimitrov has snuffed it out there with quite a big forehand. That's the closest that Stan's really the closest he's really got to breaking the Dimitrov serve so far. I agree, Jane. Absolutely. A bit more context in a moment on that move from Cincinnati. Good point from Wawrinka, back to Juice. They have new owners, and the new owners are doing what Pegula's daddy did when he bought Buffalo, extorting the public for tax breaks and other economic incentives. It's a shakedown. It sucks. Gosh, okay. And also, I guess that's what Stan Kroenke did as well, right? With the when he moved his team to LA. Stan Kroenke, I think it was. Can't remember where. I'm sure you'll know, Ghosty, where he moved his football team from. He moved to LA from St. Louis, maybe, or St. Louis. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Oh, and it's a break point for Stan Wawrinka. I believe that is the first one of the match. So it's advantage Stan. Ghosty, I'm sure. Clearly not good enough for talking tennis. My numbers lack precision. More than good enough for talking tennis, mate. San Diego went to LA recently. I think it must be that one. Then let's just see this breakpoint play out. Oh, and it's wide from Wawrinka, so it's Juice. So San Diego went to LA recently. Oakland went to Las Vegas. St. Louis went to LA a long time ago. But you're right. Okay, I thought that was only in the last few years, but maybe not. I think this might be the longest game of the match. It's Juice right now. Wawrinka's just knocking on the door for the first time, really. Let's see what happens here. And it's a big backhand from Stan, but he's just knocked it wide, which would be disappointing for him. Not if you're supporting Grigor, of course. So it's advantage Dimitrov. This feels like a big game here. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, essentially, Ghosty's kind of unofficially on the payroll, right? Essentially, my co-commentator. Big serve and then a good put away from Dimitrov, so he is 3-1 up. Great book, Bad Sports: How Owners Are Ruining the Games We Love, by progressive journalist Dave Zirin. It's a crime. Yeah. I mean, it's such an issue, isn't it? Even in the UK, with football, soccer, a lot of the kind of traditional, I guess family owned or local owned clubs are being kind of bought for like sports washing purposes. Newcastle United have been bought in the last kind of 18 months by Saudi Arabia. I guess it's bringing so much money into sport, isn't it? But it's it's kind of, what's the word? It's taking something away from the game, isn't it? And I'm trying to think of the word, but I can't think of it right now. But it's not doesn't really seem fair on everybody else. Well, Wawrinka holds to love there, and we might just have a commercial playing in just a moment.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
And we're back, guys, at 3-2 to Dimitrov. Just also having a look at what else is going on in Rome. So another person's, well, you can sort of see on the channel as well, John's recent piece about Bortik van der Zandschulp as well. He's in action. He's just started against Laszlo Djere. Khachanov has just gotten underway as well against Barrera. Yeah, and Badosa is on the verge of beating Ons Jabeur as well on the women's side, and she has actually beaten her 1-4. So that's a disappointing loss for Jabeur, but big win for Badosa. I wonder if we're going to see a return to form for the Spanish lady soon. So this is looking like a bit more of a comfortable service game for Dimitrov. Remember, guys, to like, subscribe, become a member for lots of different perks, including some kind of behind the scenes stuff as well. Oh, that's a big forehand from Stan. But it's kept in play by Grigor. Smash from Stan. And then long from Grigor. 30-15. So yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. We've also got, but we're also going to be kind of with you, I believe, later on for the match with Novak. By the way, I don't know if any of you have sort of seen. Do check out Talking Tennis's Twitter feed as well for a very funny tweet about Novak Djokovic's opponent tonight. You have to scroll down slightly, but Thomas Etcheverry is basically playing his idol, Novak Djokovic. And when you have to have a look at the tweet, but when he got his first ranking point, Etcheverry, he was photographed, kind of just highlighting the difference in ranking points between him and his idol. And now he's obviously kind of closed the gap somewhat, and he's got another photo again. That's going to be interesting to see how he kind of does against him. Is it going to be a Casper Ruud against Rafael Nadal? Is he going to be completely starstruck, or is he going to come out with extra motivation and some belief? Let's see. Thank you, Ghosty. Take care and see you soon. So again, actually, just as I was saying, it's going to be a comfortable service game. It's another sniff here for Wawrinka. backhand to backhand. Dimitrov runs over to his forehand, goes big. Wawrinka still in the point. Kind of a neutral rally now. Both players sort of playing it quite safe. Backhand to backhand. Wawrinka runs around his. It's still going. Wawrinka cross court. And Grigor goes long. And it is another break point for Wawrinka. Is he going to break back here? Thank you, Jane. Yeah. Me and John have a bit of a funny. We've sort of used that word for quite a number of years, but we've sort of said that kind of a sniff is, it's when it kind of gets to 30 all, right? When there's a bit of a sniff, there's a bit of pressure on the server. I'm just going to see this break point out. And Dimitrov, I think, has gone along with it. Yes, he has. And Wawrinka gets his first break of the match. And we're back on serve in the second set. Yeah, it's one that we sort of go with, particularly at 30. I think 30 was like the classic sniff, I would say. Yeah, nice one, Travel. Playing his idol. I didn't realise Echeverry was Jocko's idol. No, absolutely, yeah. He's got pictures of Echeverry on his wall. But yeah, that should be a fun match later. And of course, we should have Carlos Alcaraz entering the fray tomorrow as well, right? In his first appearance at the Rome Masters. And it's actually a really interesting one, isn't it? He's up against Albert Ramos Viñolas, who was close to knocking him out of Roland Garros last year. So that's going to be interesting. A bit of extra interest in that one. So yeah, back on serve, Stan. Jane's happy. I'm happy as well. I want to see a bit of a battle. I think I predicted 3 sets before the game, so yeah, I'd like to see it go to 3. He looks a bit more invigorated now, doesn't he, the Swiss? Holding his serve here quite comfortable. Gosh, he's won 11 of the last 13 points. So we're really seeing a bit of a momentum shift here. It just seems like he sort of put his foot on the gas a bit for Wawrinka, and he's sort of hitting the ball a bit harder. But he's also, I think, kind of brought the margins in a little bit as well. And he's not sort of been going for as many kind of outright winners potentially. He's been playing a bit more safe at times, playing more extended rallies, but also sort of, putting his foot on that accelerator when he's needed to at the right time. And he's been doing that at the right time over the last 15 points or so. Friend of the show, a breakdown. That's not good, John. Yeah. Of course, we do try and stay neutral here at Talking Tennis, but yeah, when we've had he is a friend of the show. Nice piece earlier on in the week with Van der Zandschulp. On Van der Zandschulp. Matthew saying that he came to the channel earlier and it said there was a copyright strike on it. I'm not sure what that was to do with, Matthew. So I know we did have a slight issue right at the start before the match started, and we had to change stream. Might have been that. Apologies for that. Yeah, you're right, John. With on, got a piece with someone, a piece on someone. What's the difference, eh? So yeah, interesting second set now. Wawrinka's got the break back. He's also won the much heralded 7th game of the set, right? Which is always kind of pinpointed as an important game to win. Wawrinka's won it. He's got his nose in front, which I think is the first time he's actually been in front in a set. So let's see how Grigor is able to handle that now. 3-4 down. Errors starting to come now from Dimitrov. Backhand goes into the net. And I think right at the start of the second set, Dimitrov did have the chance, was looking at a double break, wasn't he? I think was putting the pressure on a Wawrinka service game. It just goes to show what happens when if you stay in the game, keep it to the one break. Now the momentum really seems like it has potentially shifted towards Stan. Just having a look through some of the stats here as well. So yeah, Grigor's first serve percentage has really come down. So it's at 71% in the first set. It's at 56 in the second, and a complete turnaround from Stan as well. It was at 57 in the first set, 85% in the second set. So that's going to be playing a big role in this this turnaround as well. So yeah, keep the comments coming in, guys. Keep the likes coming. Always nice to interact with you out there. We're enjoying this game. Real classic matchup, isn't it? Real sort of 2010s matchup, isn't it? Stan Wawrinka, Grigor Dimitrov. As I said, it's the 13th time they're playing as Dimitrov holds 7-5. Wawrinka leads the head-to-head, but no meeting for 3 years or so. So, yeah, not sure how much we can read into the previous meetings right now, seeing as they're at kind of different stages of their careers, aren't they? Wawrinka certainly at the twilight of his career at 38. Dimitrov also seeming like he's past his best as well, only 31, but no kind of real major success over the last kind of year or two compared to, when he was making Grand Slam. He has made some Grand Slam semi-finals in the past, of course, hasn't he? As Wawrinka just checks out a mark, he's okay with it. You hit a backhand wide there. By the way, thinking about these two, what are your favourite Wawrinka and Dimitrov memories? Favourite Stan memories? I remember him playing. He's played some epics, hasn't he? I remember him playing an absolute epic with Novak in the Australian Open semi-final, I believe. I can't remember the year, but it was. Just might check that out actually. Of course, he did beat Novak in the final, didn't he? But that was when Wawrinka just completely overwhelmed Novak really in the final in 2016, I believe that was. But they did play in a US Open semi-final as well. 2013 that was. Okay, that was 6-4 in the fifth. Novak won that. I remember that being an absolutely sensational match. Yeah. But I think the match that he played against the two matches he played against Novak, right, both in the US and both at the French Open, the win 2 of his 3 slams were insane. Yeah, the shorts were pretty memorable as well, weren't they? You could also forget Dimitrov's classic match with Rafa as well in the Australian Open semi-final. He's had a few classics in at the tail end of slams as well as Grigor, but unfortunately for him, never got over the line in terms of making a slam final. I think Stan's gone long there, and it looks like we're going to have 2 break points for Dimitrov. That was close. Stan just coming over to inspect the mark. He's leaning over. He doesn't look pleased, but he's going to have to accept it. I think that's going to be 15-40, and it is, and it's going to mean. Oh gosh, that was close. That was close. And it's going to mean 2 break points for Dimitrov. Where has this come from? Serve from Stan. Holds, saves one of them. Dimitrov slices long. Australian Open 2014 against Djokovic was great. He really has had, good point travel. He really has had some epic matches with Novak at slams. Just we see this, another point for Dimitrov to serve it out. It's the same result again, a big serve from Stan out wide there to the Grigor backhand, and it goes long. So again, he's really banging down those big serves when he needs to in this set. Oh, that's a great shout, Travel. Yes, I remember that one. Yep. Stan against Steph, round 4, Roland Garros 2019. Yep. That was a brilliant match. I watched that actually, and I think I'd kind of just recently moved house. So all I had was a sofa and a TV, no furniture, no other furniture, nothing. I just sat down and watched that one in 2019 in South London. That was a great match. By the way, we've got a great rally going on here. Big forehand from Stan, and he punches the air. Big sequence of points here from Wawrinka. He's got advantage. We were at Roland Garros that year, 2019. So we saw Djokovic Dominic Thiem actually in 2019. Well, the first part of it before it was rained off. Wawrinka holds, big hold that is, big hold, and we're just going to go for a quick break. Back in a moment.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
So we're back here at 4-5. Stan's held on, saved 2 break points. Grigor is serving to stay in the set. So Travel was also there in 2019. So Rafa Thiem. Okay. Yeah. First 2 sets were brutal. Yeah, they were very competitive, weren't they? And then Rafa sort of ran away. Me and John watched that together also, I think, in Lisbon just afterwards. But yeah, that 2019 Tsitsipas Wawrinka, that was a great match. And then of course Wawrinka then lost to Roger in the semi-final. Roger then lost to Rafa. Sorry, Wawrinka lost to Roger in the quarter-final. Roger then lost to Rafa in the semi-final. Which I was also at actually, that semi-final in 2019, which was really, really affected by the wind, which was such a shame because Roger was playing really, really good tennis that year on the clay. I'm not saying he would have won, but I think he would have, potentially it would have been a bit closer than it was. It was quite one-sided for Rafa in the end. Double fault there from Grigor. And we're looking at, what are we looking at now? I've just zoomed in. A photo of Yannick Sinner at 12 years old. I've got a bit of Spanish, John. I can Yannick Sinner at 12 years old. Wow. I would not be able to recognise him there. Yeah, yeah. I can't translate the rest of it though. Just concede that he was 12. Yeah. Sinner beating Kokkinakis fairly comfortably. Today Kokkinakis, who qualified actually for this tournament. It's going to be a serve and volley here from Grigor, and it's a lovely, lovely finish at the net. Just wrong-footed stand there. It's been a good match. I think there's been some really nice moments, some really nice points. Both players showing flashes of what they can do, but yeah, neither playing at their best at the same time. I would say it's probably quite indicative of their kind of fortunes really right now at the moment. It's kind of quite lacking a bit of consistency both in this match and just in their careers at the moment. And as Dimitrov comes into the net again, drop volleys, Wawrinka goes for the lob and it's out. Really nice pick up there from Grigor actually. But Stan will probably be a bit disappointed he didn't make the lob. So it's 5-all. Keep the comments coming in, guys. Thinking about Grigor, one of the best matches I've seen him play as well was I remember when he beat Andy Murray at Wimbledon in 2014, when Murray was the defending champion and quite heavily fancied to retain his Wimbledon. I think Murray may have been, not sure because Murray later had surgery on his back 2014, but he did play in the US Open as well, so I'm not sure how much he was hampered there. But Grigor played a brilliant match, and that was the year that he ended up reaching the semi-finals at Wimbledon as well. Had a classic in the semi-final there. Against Novak, I'm going to say that was in his Wimbledon semi-final. 2014. Yes, it was Novak. Yeah, of course it was. Okay, it wasn't 5 sets, but it was a very, very good match with 2 tie breaks in as well. Maybe not quite a classic, but I remember it being a very high quality match, that semi-final. So we're just 100 away now from 2000. So please hit the like button, guys. As Stan comes in for serve and volley, Dimitrov should put that away, and he does. 15-30. So it's coming slightly, that poll, isn't it? I think we had 100% at the start, but it's 60-40 now. Dimitrov. It makes sense, right? Dimitrov is actually potentially he is 6 points away from winning this right now, but just sort of see what happens here. Stan sort of dictating there with his forehand. That was rolling back the years. Wawrinka of old there. 30-all. Travel with a good shout as well. Dimitrov fed at the US Open in 2019 as well. Absolutely. Yeah, with Grigor coming through that in 5 sets. I think I watched that one. I think that might have been probably would have likely been a night session match at Arthur Ashe. So I don't think I stayed up to watch that here in the UK. But Grigor winning that from 2 sets to 1 down. Yeah, good shout, Travel. So yeah, we're at the business end of this set, aren't we? Stan's just trying to hold on to his serve. He's gone long there with a backhand. Sorry, that looked a bit edgy. He knows that he's turned this set around, and he's potentially fairly close to making it. Well, it is competitive already, but he's always kind of, in a way, fairly close, isn't he, to taking it to a decider? But he also knows that he's even closer to potentially losing this here in the next few minutes. So just needs to try and keep his head, stick to what he was doing earlier on. Big first serve, staying patient. As Dimitrov nets a backhand, which we'll be disappointed with. Missed the first serve there, Stan. Slice from both slices, 2 slices from both. Cross court forehand from Grigor. Cross court from Stan. Cross court from Grigor. Forehand to forehand. Backhand there from Grigor. Backhand from Stan. Cross court. Backhand down the line from Stan. Wonderful backhand, but Grigor recovers well. It's a brilliant drop volley it's a brilliant half volley from Stan, and Stan wins the game. That was wonderful because Dimitrov really let loose with that backhand. But brilliant touch from Wawrinka. Just again showing he's still got the feel for the racket as well. And it's 6-5. Dimitrov would have to serve for it again at 5-6. So yeah, I think we've got Fonini up a break already as well on Kecmanovic. Okay, yeah, cool. We got Korda down a break in the second set against Safiullin. We've got Van der Zandschulp 2 breaks down against Yera. So yeah, Fonini looking to back up that really good win he had against Andy in the last round. I was really disappointed with that. I was really confident Andy would win that actually after his success at the Challenger last week. I just thought, Fonini's been nowhere, has he? That was really disappointing. I thought it was a real good chance for Andy to win that and to move up the rankings a bit more as well. The big goal is to try and get him. I really want him to be seeded for Wimbledon. I think that would be really cool. So yeah, that was a bit of a blow there, but I guess can't really underestimate Fonini, can you? Even now. Matthew saying every time I see team winning, I get sucked into believing again. I hate myself for doing it. I know, right? It's yeah, it's just so hard to kind of, make that transition in your mind, right? That he's potentially not a contender now, or maybe not going to be a contender again. But fingers crossed, Matthew. I mean, there have been some positive signs over the last few weeks. So yeah. It's almost the same with kind of Andy, really, isn't it? I mean, so I think he's had a really decent year, hasn't he? Really, but it kind of, whenever you think, okay, he's kind of going to maybe go on a bit of a run now, it just doesn't really happen. And yeah, Matthew sort of referencing there. I never have much confidence in Andy. Fonini on home soil, possibly last season, was always going to be super motivated. Absolutely, yeah. But I mean, he had some amazing wins last week. He beat Tommy Paul. Didn't he beat Luca Van Asch? He had, on the back of kind of 5 wins on the clay. I just thought he'd have too much sort of tennis in his body, in his legs. But yeah, it's whenever you think Andy is going to put together a real concerted run of results, he's not really able to do it these days. Wonderful backhand there, by the way, from Grigor up the line. That was phenomenal. It's disappointing, isn't it? If I think going back to Andy, sorry, I think Wimbledon, I guess, the grass is going to be his best chance of putting together, say consecutive good weeks. But yeah, I do think it's as much as Dimitrov looks like he's going to take us to a tie break here. It's obviously physically related in terms of, he's got a metal hip, so of course he's not going to be able to move as agile as he could before, or outlast players as he could before. But there's also a bit of a psychological element of it too, I think, as well. He's certainly not as mentally. He was he was a mental monster, I think, before. But I think he does have a lot of. Sure, he used to have some lapses in matches, but he'd kind of be able to recover, wouldn't he? And you always had faith in him. I mean, I think back to 2021 when he was 5-love up against Basilashvili. Basilashvili, of course, brings his own chaos factor, doesn't he? But he was 5-0 up, 3 breaks up, 3 breaks of serve, and Murray ended up losing it 7-5 at Wimbledon, which is just insane. I mean, that would never have happened previously. Yes, John, I'm saying that Andy Murray, a mental monster, absolutely was a mental monster prior to the hip surgery. Will he play any more tournaments before Roland Garros? I think he might play one more challenger. I think he might. I'm not sure if he's going to play one of the 250s next week, but I do think I read somewhere that he's going to play another challenger. And we're into a tie break. So let's see what happens here. Wawrinka serving first, nets the forehand. That's not the start that you were looking for if you're a Stan man. Kind of been a bit of a theme in this match, isn't it? Wawrinka getting off to slow starts. Big serve from Grigor. Wawrinka's in the point. It's kind of on top here, Grigor, at the moment, but Stan's trying to get back to neutral, but he nets a backhand. Really good solid play there from Grigor. Staying solid, drawing the error out of Stan. And he's got a mini break in the tie break. What we saying here, guys? What's the, what we predicting? I know I did say I think this was going to be 3 sets, but probably shouldn't really be making these predictions now. It's 3-love to Grigor, so I'm not going to make a prediction because it's not. It's a bit too late. Wawrinka unable to keep the return in, and he's 3-love up. Grigor Dimitrov. So Stan really needs this point. And he's really, first serve percentage has dropped off, I think, towards the business end of this set. When he gets that point. Bit of a weak return there from Grigor, really sat up nicely for Stan, and he put it away with aplomb. 1-3 in the tie break. Can cut the tension with a knife here. Cut the tension in Talking Tennis Studios as well. All eyes on this second set tie break. Goes long there, Stan. Been really loose in this tie break. Really loose there on the forehand. Grigor's battened down the hatches. Stan's not been able to do the same. It's 4-1 to Dimitrov. Two mini breaks as well. As we see the total points won for the match, Dimitrov 7 ahead. If we go 5-1 here, could very well be it. Good cross-court forehand from Stan. Cross-court again. Grigor's kind of back in neutral. Big backhand from Stan. Backhand again. Forehand looping from Stan, which goes long. That was really good play from Dimitrov. It really was. Stan looked like he was in control a couple of times in that rally. Hit a couple of amazing shots, but Grigor did really well to get back to neutral. Teased the error out again. That's kind of what he's been doing in this tie break. He's been super solid. Super solid. And he's 5-1 up. and he's looking like he's potentially going to book his place in the last 32 in Rome. Grigor's best performance here in Rome, semi-final in 2014. Same year he reached the Wimbledon semi-finals. He lost to Rafael Nadal. Anyway, 5-1 up here. Got a second serve to look at, Stan. Be interesting to see whether he kind of just tries to go for broke a bit now, being 5-1 down. Big forehand. Forehand's gone long. He did go for it. It was nowhere near. Nowhere near. And it's 6-1 to Dimitrov. 5 match points for the Bulgarian. Oh, one of them's been saved. 6-2. Not sure who the winner of this plays, actually. I don't know if anybody knows in the live chat. I'll see if I can find out. Looks like it was another. It's 6-3. So Wawrinka's held the 2 on his serve. Back over to Grigor. Is he gonna close this out at the third time of asking? 2 big serves there from Stan has kept him fighting. Backhand to backhand here, fairly neutral. Oh, and Stan goes long. Dimitrov wins. Dimitrov wins. 6-4-7-6. That's a good win for Dimitrov. Really is. Just too solid in the end. Stan was a bit too up and down. Grigor's coach looks like a Brit on a stag weekend. Wonder if that's how you're going to look next week in Rome, John. Enjoy it. It feels like it's. I'd really love to go to Rome, actually. Hopefully at some point through talking tennis, we can have some access in Rome. It's always been a tournament I've really been keen to visit. Probably out of all of the Masters 1000s. Yeah. John's off to there on Tuesday. As we see Stan going off the court, we saw some flashes, didn't we? He still got the touch. He still got the feel. He still got the explosiveness at times, but he hasn't got the consistency. He hasn't got the physicality anymore, Stan. And we saw that Grigor was just able to just kind of outlast him a bit really in that second set and stay a bit more consistent. Always had his nose in front really, and he's run out deserved winner there. So thanks guys. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed that. And we will see you again a little bit later for the Novak match and for the coverage later on in the week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers, everyone.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.